Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we are doing the recap from the pay-per-view card that took place on June 1st, last weekend. That was headlined by Wilder versus Zhang in a heavyweight showdown. That was also the 5 versus 5 Matchroom versus Queensberry little tournament that they put on. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. Excuse me. So, the card itself, I'm going to look at the light heavyweight bout because that was not part of the 5 versus 5. I'm going to look at that fight first, even though it took place before the 2 heavyweight showdowns. And it saw Dimitri Bivol, who was supposed to fight Artur Beterbiev. He was staying busy, making an optional defense against undefeated, I think it's Malik Zinad or something like that. I know the guy's name was Zinad. But Zinad had just fought 5 weeks earlier. So I know he was undefeated and moving up the rankings. And he actually had a nice win over Papalomi, who was an undefeated guy on the rise earlier this year. But he fought to a 12-round majority decision in that fight. I think it was 12. And then he takes this fight on 5 weeks' notice. I mean, that's tough. That's a tough thing to do right there. And you know, I was kind of surprised that he took the fight, but he did. And I went on to, you know, he did take the fight, and he went on to get pretty much his ass beat. You know, Dimitri Bivol was all over him, stopped him in 6 rounds, left no doubt. So Bivol, you know, we'll do a what's next video for him still next week, because we always do that stuff. But it was announced that Bivol and Beterbiev is going to happen for Undisputed in October. So that's a big deal right there. Looking forward to seeing what comes out, what happens with that. You know, so good win for Bivol on a big card, you know, to get a knockout really gets people looking his way. So, you know, good for him. Then we had the 5 versus 5. Yeah, another light heavyweight bout. Saw Willie Hutchinson taking on former world title challenger Craig Richards, and Hutchinson was all over Richards. He just outworked him, out-hustled him, the younger fighter, and he scored a unanimous decision win, and, you know, got Queensberry off to a lead right there with that win. So a good win for him. He actually already heard news that he's moving ahead of Anthony Yard for a WBO interim light heavyweight title fight against Joshua Buatsi. So that's big for him. So you know, hopefully that's what happens for him. But he'll definitely get a what's next video next week. We'll discuss that more. Then you had the WBA featherweight title go on the line as Raymond Ford battled Nick Ball. Ford with Matchroom and Ball for Queensberry. And Nick Ball outworked Raymond Ford in this one in a tough, close battle. They went at it. It was a good, action-packed fight right there. Looked like Ford had the advantage early, but much the way it happened with Ray Vargas, Nick Ball turned it on in the second half of the fight and really closed the gap and did enough on the scorecards to earn a very close split decision as he captured the WBA featherweight belt. So a big win for him, you know, to become a world champion. You know, 2 fights he had this year against Ray Vargas, came up just short, and then he goes in against Ray Ford and pulls off the upset. So a nice win for him. Raymond Ford's already announced that he's moving to 130, and he wants to pursue a rematch with Nick Ball up there. But I think Nick Ball is probably going to enjoy his time here at 126. But we'll discuss all that when we do both of their What's Next videos next week. So, Queensberry was off to a 2-0 start. then that lead intensified, and I think was pretty much, you know, they pretty much put it out of reach in the middleweight showdown between Hamza Shiraz and Austin Ammo Williams. Austin Williams was the Matchroom guy, and Shiraz was the Queensbury guy. And Shiraz came out charging at Ammo. It was a good fight, and then was winning early. And then Ammo would land a big shot here and there, and really buckled Shiraz a couple times. But Shiraz weathered the storm, pressed forward, and ended up stopping Williams in the 10th round in a good action-packed middleweight fight right here. So congratulations to Hamza Shiraz with that win, and he put them comfortably in the lead there. Then in the co-feature, you had Filip Hrgović, undefeated, #1 ranked heavyweight, mandatory challenger, battling Daniel Dubois, and the vacant IBF interim heavyweight title was on the line, as the IBF has still yet to make a firm decision on what they are going to do with their title, with their heavyweight title, because Alexander Usyk asked for an exception. So they ordered this fight to happen in the winter to be in line for a showdown with Anthony Joshua in September, but not clear if it's going to be for the IBF title or not. But most people felt Filip Hrgović was going to roll over Daniel Dubois, and I picked Hrgović to win, but I really thought Daniel Dubois was a live underdog. If you go watch my breakdown video, I told you guys he can box and he can punch. Do not sleep on Daniel Dubois. And Daniel Dubois upset the apple cart. He rocked Hrgović and out-hustled him and beat him to the punch, and stopped them in the 8th round of their fight. I think the fight was stopped on cuts due to punches landed by Dubois. And Daniel Dubois, with an upset TKO, becomes the IBF interim heavyweight champ, and potentially has a date with Anthony Joshua for September. I heard they're negotiating right now, but we'll discuss more on Dubois and what he's doing next in his when I do his what's next video next week. But that was a big win right there. It was a very big win for Dubois. Congratulations to him. But tough loss for Filip Hrgović. We'll do a what's next video on him as well next week. But man, what a setback right here. After waiting and waiting, he gets upset and knocked out. This is a tough setback for Daniel Dubois right here. And then for Filip Hrgović. And then finally, the main event, Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang. Big heavyweight punchers going at it. And Wilder just couldn't figure Zhang out. The fact that Zhang was about 60 pounds heavier than him, over 60 pounds heavier, just the weight difference was significant. He pressed on Wilder, and Wilder would land a punch here and there, but it wasn't with the zip that it used to be. And Zhang just pressured him, and then in the 5th round landed a big right hook that hurt Wilder, spun him around, and then he dropped Wilder. Wilder would get up, but he was out on his feet. The referee stopped the fight, and Zhilei Zhang gets a 5th round knockout win over Deontay Wilder to push forward to push his career forward and potentially land a big fight moving forward. So tough loss for Deontay Wilder. If he doesn't make an announcement on retirement, he'll get a what's next video next week. And Zhilei Zhang absolutely will, but a big win for Zhang, biggest of his career. Way to bounce back after that tough majority decision loss to Joseph Parker earlier this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing Zhang back in action. So we'll see what happens, and we'll also discuss the what's next video on both those guys. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my recap from the June 1st pay-per-view card. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.